Hey guys, and welcome to another video from Fast Tech Skills series. In this video, I'm going to quickly talk about what is cross-platform or what is cross-platform development and why it's getting a lot of attention these days. Just a quick overview on the technology and what is possible when you're approaching building apps using cross-platform technologies. So as we know, if you want to build apps, first you need to pick a platform to build the app for. For example, if you're gonna build your app for Android or for iOS or for Windows Store. Windows Store means both Windows 8 or Windows Phone, especially with the introduction of universal apps. The problem is when you are using this approach, if you want to build the apps using the native technologies, you need to write your apps for Android in Java language. You need to write apps for iOS using Objective-C or Swift. So that'd be Objective-C or Swift, the Apple's new language. And for Windows, you need to use C# and XAML. So C# and XAML. These are the standard languages for different kind of platforms out there. So what's the problem with this approach? Let's say that you want to build an app for all of these platforms and you want to get the users of all these platforms as customers or general users for your own app. The problem is that you need to become a Java developer, an Android developer per se, an iOS developer, and Windows Store developer, and that's basically impossible. Or if there is someone out there who is good at all of these platforms at the same level, it's very, very rare. So there's only one option left. You learn one and you outsource the rest, or you outsource all of them, would be really, really expensive and time consuming. And most importantly, you cannot have a really smooth experience across all these platforms. Why? Because each platform has its own UI elements. So this is something very, very important that you need to pay attention to, because users of one platform might use your app on a different platform on a different device. Let's say that some users, they have Android phones and they have an iPad. Then if they want to use your app, that consistency of design would be really hard to pull off if you want to hire a different developer to do the app for each platform. Eventually that would be a kind of a good way to go about it if you're a big business, because then you can use that specific platform's special capabilities and you can bring the platform's design, combine it with your app design and build something very robust. But for majority of cases that you want to build your app across all these platforms, this is not a good approach, because again, you need to rewrite your code in different languages for different platforms, needing different developers with different skill sets, and it's very hard to communicate. So what's the solution? Cross-platform development is built to kind of fill the gap between these platforms. And the way it works is that the most common programming language these days is the programming languages which web is built on, and that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So these languages are very popular, and these are the language of the web. Basically, all the web applications that you see these days, they're all built with these three languages. And majority of times you can see that web applications are very robust and they can adapt to different screen sizes. That's one good advantage of web applications, because you never know what size of screen your user is going to use to open your web application. So web applications are mostly designed to have that kind of responsiveness to them, and they can adapt to different screen sizes. So what if we could package these languages and deploy them to these different platforms as kind of web apps in native app wrappers? In other ways, if I just change the color here, so imagine if we could get this in a package, we could build a package, our web application, the same way that we're deployed on web, and then we can put this inside a wrapper. So a wrapper of native code could go around it and make it compatible and submittable for different platforms' stores. That would be the best solution to bring cross-platform to these different distinguished platforms out there. And that's basically what cross-platform development is. You're using some common language like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in majority of cases, and there is a browser that you put that code in, and that browser is actually an app built for each of these platforms. So at the end of the day, you get a browser which is hidden running your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript inside of it. And because this browser is written for each of these platforms, then you can just put your code in it and it wraps it and you can deploy it to that specific platform as you want. So that's a quick look at cross-platform development. Let me know if you have any questions below. Subscribe to my channel so I have motivation to make up more videos for you, and give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.